Hi everyone, my name is Mako, and I'm going to break down my drawing process for this AMV that is called Forward Beckon Rebound, using the song by Adrian Lenker, Forward Beckon Rebound. So as you can see from before, I first drew it on paper, and usually my drawing process is like I really like to draw character illustration. So I started with my character John, who is from my current homebrew campaign called Lost City of Nyosha. And Lost City of Nyosha is a very role play heavy campaign, and I wanted to design a character that really represented like his that aspect of the world, because it's also supposed to be a very role play heavy universe. There's a lot of like espionage, and even though there is action, the characters like themselves are very ingrained into the political and geopolitical aspects of this world. And my character John is a soldier, and he has a lot of trauma, and he has a lot of childhood trauma that stems from the government of Zerelia, which is where he's from. Zerelia is the biggest country of Nyosha, the continent. It's like a giant world, but the way I wanted to go about this was that I wanted to depict his growth as a character. So I started off with character sketches, which I pulled directly from his character sheet. I put his front profile, I put the front profile of his head and the side profile of his head, and I also drew his sword and the magical things that he casts through, which is his finger armor. I wanted to make sure that his character, like the energy of his character, because he himself is a very angry, internally angry person, so I wanted to make sure that that came through the character designs in the sketches. So I drew a version of him in a certain pose. I drew a younger version of him. I drew a embrace from one position and then an embrace from the opposite position. I drew a wolf, which I'll get into later. I drew a fawn, which I'll get into later, and I drew their embrace as well. Now, I really wanted to show John's emotional regulation. He's a very angry person, but he's also a very kind person. He's a cleric, which in his job description is to heal people, and because of his past, he has done stuff that it directly goes against what he, as a cleric, does. So I really wanted the two embraces to be not opposites of each other, but the same side or different sides of the same coin. I designed the AMV to have certain types of symbolism. So the wolf is supposed to represent his adult self. Battle hardened, aggressive. He can be dangerous, but at the same time, the fawn, it represents like his younger self, the playfulness, the passion, the love, the carefulness, all of that. What was really hard about this AMV was the proportions. Like, for example, I remember throughout, or if you can see throughout the video, I'm trying to size and make sure that all the proportions are correct to the exact like drawing, but also to the animals themselves. The proportions for the doe was like the hardest, because I remember trying to make sure that the ears were a certain size and that the mouth looked very doe-like. Instead, like, I started off with like a goat looking thing, some kind of monstrous animal, but over time it worked itself out, and I was able to make sure that I had the correct baby deer looking face, and I was really happy about it. This embrace, the third embrace, was really cool to draw because it really was the first time I had ever drawn animals. Not animals like in general, but animals interacting with each other that wasn't very aggressive, I guess. And it was really cool. this was me taking 30 minutes trying to figure out what I wanted to do for the background. I started off with like the brown swirls, and over time I just started hating it. Just started really, really hating it. I didn't know whether or not I should have put something in the background, which I inevitably ended up doing anyway. But I really, really did not like the first background. So instead, as you can see from here, I started designing something to go in the background, and I started designing stag horns, which is a piece of symbolism for his character. Stag horns represents, like, of course, the stag, the deer. He watches over the group, make sure that everyone's okay and safe, but also can be very dangerous and aggressive. And stags can be unpredictable, very unpredictable. They can like you at one point or at first, and they could like you, they could not like you. So I wanted to make sure that I had the deer symbolism. And over time, as I was drawing it, I started putting way too much detail in this really tiny, tiny aspect of the overall thing. So instead of having just the one staghorn or whatever, I made it massive. I sized it up a bunch. I wanted to make sure that it was seen, and I came up with the plan to have it throughout all of the slides, throughout all the pages. And this is when I actually started doing the graying out of every character, and I started doing the eyes. John's eyes are a fiery orange, and I wanted to make sure that that was shown throughout the whole thing. So every character that you can see the eyes of, I ended up changing them to be orange to make sure that you as the viewer followed them and made sure that all of them, all these characters are John. They're supposed to be representations of John. And this is actually when I started the second frames of all the character designs. To have the random motion, I did just 2 frames, but I packed them on top of each other so that it could look like, the characters moving. As I was doing the baby John, every time I looked at his face, I got like a flood of sadness, because baby John, even though being a little kid, he's about 9 or 10. He was a runt. He was born a small, small kid. And he and his mom, his single mom, lived or tried to live the best lives. They were farmers. They did all their whole thing. But she took care of him and took care of him well and treated him well. And I know some things that are crazy about baby John that sadly happened to him that never should have happened, but yeah. This was me doing the start of the first embrace. The first embrace was really cool to draw because I myself don't have a lot of experience drawing many characters interacting with each other, but I feel like I did a really good job capturing like the sentimentality of what's going on in the image, because the 2 embraces are supposed to represent them both embracing each other. So the forward view of John holding baby John, and you could see baby John's back, it's supposed to be older John telling baby John that he can be safe with him, that his traumas of what's about to happen to him, it's going to be okay, that he's not alone, he's going to be taken care of and seen, and made sure that he's so taken care of, my sweet boy. Sweet boy. But yeah, and then I did the color back, and then I started the second embrace. And the second embrace is to represent baby John telling older John that who he becomes in the future, because older John does really bad things. He tells him that no matter what, you're going to be okay. The things that you have done, even though are terrible, don't make you who you are, as long as you know that those bad things were terrible, and that he works to change it. And John does and is currently in the campaign working to change it. But it's supposed to represent him accepting that things will happen, that he will change as a person. Doing the second wolf frame was really cool because the way I did the first one, I just did one half and then I copied that and swapped the frame. And I did pretty much the same thing with this one. But seeing it fully realized, seeing it be able to move, like, it puts so much character. It gives them so much character. And I'm really happy that I was able to depict this wolf. And the wolf kind of scowls. It looks like it's scowling, like it's ready to hunt. And that's really what I was going for. And then this is me testing it out for the first time, the couple frames, and I was so livid, or not livid. I was so happy. I was excited doing this second pass, the second frame of the baby doe was so cool too, because seeing this, like, seeing baby animals in general brings me a lot of happiness, but seeing this baby do its whole thing, like, be able to move with certain, like, it just looks real. Like, I'm just really happy. I'm yapping, but I'm so happy about it. And this was me adjusting the background, making sure that every, like, character had the background. And then I started the second pass of the chase, and I called this from the chase because it looks like they are chasing after each other. And I wanted to leave this frame to make people think that the wolf is chasing the baby to be conniving or be aggressive. In nature, there are, like, examples of when mother deer giving birth so that they can run away. But there have been cases in nature when those moments happen of the predator taking care of that baby and treating it like it's its own. And I really wanted to give off that energy, give off that vibe, because, you know, I this character has been through so much and he deserves so much. And I was just really proud to create this and give him as a character his props. Yeah. This was the start of working on the title page. And the title page is really important to me. It's what the viewer sees first, and I didn't want to do anything really extravagant, really crazy. I really just wanted to give off the energy of a story, like the story time, weaving things together. And then I worked on the ending thank you. I put the heart there. This is me playing it back without the additives of the flowers. And this was really exciting to do because I really wanted to, like, from the start, I wanted to give this motif of growth and acceptance. And my partner actually suggested, why don't you put something on the staghorns? And I said, that is a great idea. So I ended up doing that. Yeah. There's a running thing with John's past about his mom and stuff, and I'm not going to give it away because I know that certain people who are the campaign are going to watch this, but the flowers that end up growing from the staghorns are persimmon flowers off of the persimmon tree, and I really wanted to have it be persimmon flowers because John used to he grew up in orchards. Like, that was what him and his mom were farming. And some of the orchards were persimmon trees, and persimmons are his favorite fruit. And there's another reason why I wanted them to be persimmons. And it's a specific lore reason, so I'm not going to say it. But I was so happy to be able to do the slight animation of the leaves moving and of the persimmon flowers moving. I was so excited to see the final product. I had been working on this, like, storyboarding it and everything for 2 months, and seeing the brightness of those flowers really gave me such a happiness. And even though this is a very kind of sad animation, it has a very melancholy feeling to it, and I'm really proud of it. So yeah, thank you so much for watching.